right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest Swoosh English OET All-Star session. My name's Scott. I'm the Managing Director and Expert OET Teacher at Swoosh English, and it's an absolute pleasure having you guys here today for our latest All-Star session. And we're doing a session on a guide to reading part B today. So before we get started, first and foremost, let's see who's joined us today. We've got a lot of people who are saying hello in the chat. I'm going to bring up a few comments. Hello, Aviana. Good to see you too. Good morning to Nilani as well. Aviana is also saying hello from the Philippines, so welcome. Let us know in the chat box where you're from, as well as what time it is in the world for you too. And everyone else who's also, of course, on the other channels. We got Jubia has said hello too. We got Mamta has said hello. Welcome to everybody who has joined us today on the Swoosh English channels, as well as OET Official's YouTube channel too. So guys, I'm from Ireland, by the way. It's currently 9:03 a.m. Nice and early in the day for me. I'm sure a good number of you guys are well ahead in the world, and it is much later in the evening. So please introduce yourself in the chat box, say hello, what you're looking forward to in the session. My team and I will be reading the comments and responding. So it just makes things nice and engaging. So without further ado, let's get stuck into today's session. And we're looking at an OET All-Star session, a guide to reading part B. So let's get into it. So what are we going to be covering today in this lesson? Well, we're going to be starting off by testing your knowledge on reading part B to see what you know at this point. And of course, if you're completely new to OET preparation at this point, then that's fine. You're going to learn a few foundational aspects of the exam. I'm going to go through a walkthrough of an overarching method that you can use in your practice from today to improve your reading part B scores. We're going to include some sample tasks to analyze and also some practice methods for you to take away in helping you score higher with the prep that you're currently undergoing for your OET exam. We're, of course, then going to review the lesson and a few key takeaways about OET reading part B, OET reading as a whole, OET as a whole, before you go forward with your prep, plus a few more things. So make sure you do stay until the very end of the session, guys, because I'm doing something very special then. So please map out about 45 minutes to 60 minutes for this entire session. If you can stay until the very end, you will be in a great place. Before we get stuck into the session, of course, it wouldn't be us at Swoosh English today coming onto this session and doing a single session and saying, well, that's all we can offer you guys. So we are an OET premium preparation provider and OET All-Star, and we've helped over 22,000 students pass their OET exam with speed, certainty, and ease. So if you do enjoy today's session, or you even think about going to the next level of your OET preparation by joining us at Swoosh, well, we're actually currently running a huge promo right now. Right now, until the end of the weekend, so it is about to end, we are currently offering 20% off selected OET courses that give you access to expert teachers in the form of live classes, writing feedback, speaking feedback, plus much, much, much more. You'll have to go onto the page to see all the information that we have. But if you are interested, all you have to do is take note of that code, September 20. It will be on the next page. And then if you want to check it out now while you're in the session, all you have to do is either click the link in the chat, which will be appearing in a second, guys. So there is a link that you can click to take you into our current promotion, if you say, or get your phone out, as you can see, scan the QR code on the right-hand side of the screen with your code, and that will then take you to the page. Okay, guys, so either click on the link or scan that code to take note of that. But as I noted, we are currently offering 20% off our preparation courses for a limited time only. I will bring this information up at the very end of the session, guys, as well. So stay until the very end if you want that information to be accessed again. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Let's go the right way. All right. So let's get into the session today, guys. And I like spending the start of these sessions by getting to know you and your OET preparation. So let me know in the chat box, guys. Where are you currently in your preparation journey? When do you plan to take your OET exam? Is it tomorrow? Being Saturday is a big day for OET preparation. It's in a week's time, OET exam time, sorry. Is it next week? Is it next month? Is it 2 months? Whatever. Is it in unbooked at this point? So let me know in the chat box, guys, when you plan to take your OET exam. And yeah, let us all know. Also, while you're in the session today, please give us a like, please give us a comment, please give us a love heart, please subscribe to us on the YouTube channel or subscribe to OET Official's YouTube channel as well if you're watching there. If you're enjoying the content today and you want to see more content from Swoosh English for your OET preparation and also more content from OET Official to supercharge your OET success. We've got a couple of comments coming in here so far. We've got Sabina has said, next month. Congratulations, Sabina. Hope you're feeling prepared for your exam. We got Mona has also said next month. And we have Yulia who has said October 14th. So in just over 2 weeks' time. Got a few comments coming through on YouTube as well, which I can't display. And they are saying October, November. Abida's got their exam tomorrow. Best of luck, Abida, for your exam tomorrow. So we've got Evelyn's taking the exam tomorrow as well, and Elsie's taking the exam tomorrow, guys. So you're here for just a little bit of last-minute encouragement and last-minute studying. Wish you guys the absolute best of luck with your OET preparation and everyone else who's doing here today. A few more points before we move on. We've got Harusha has said, good evening from Sri Lanka. Hello, Harusha, and welcome to the session today. And Divya has said the 28th of October. Thank you very much, guys. Regardless of when your exam is, what's really important is that you go into your exam feeling as confident as possible that you are able to pass, okay? So make sure if you have booked your OET exam at this point that you are sticking to a study deadline, shall we say, okay? Right, so that's those comments, guys. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the task at hand today, or the topic at hand, and that is reading part B. So let's now know in the chat box, what is your biggest challenge with reading part B? Let us know. Is it time management? Is it the multiple choice questions? Is it keyword analysis? Is it reading for speed, skimming, scanning, reading for context? Whatever your challenge is, let us know in the chat box what you're currently experiencing with your reading part B preparation, and hopefully we'll address some of your concerns today and help you with getting you a better passing score. So Aviana has said straight away that there are confusing options for reading part B with a little sweaty emoji. That's fine, Aviana. We're going to, of course, demonstrate some methods today to help you unconfuse those options. We have Julia who said keyword analysis is quite tricky. Well, once again, Julia, sorry, we're going to analyze some methods today to help you pick the correct keywords today as a whole. I'm seeing some other comments over on the YouTube channel. We're talking about time management, reaching the answers, reading for speed, getting the gist, etc. Okay, guys, all very valid concerns and all have been answered many, many times before. As many candidates ahead of you have had these same challenges, and we can certainly overcome them today, or at least get you started to overcome some of those challenges today. Great, guys. So let's test your knowledge. Who is ready to do an OET reading part B quiz? Let us know in the chat box. Say yes if you are ready. Hopefully you are. I'm sure you will be. But for those who are new to OET, you're going to learn some aspects of OET reading part B. And for those who aren't new to OET, I'm just going to make sure that we all know exactly what we're getting ourselves into if your exam is tomorrow, next week, next month, or unbooked. And everyone is saying yes. Perfect. Let's get stuck into the quiz. So question number 1. Comment in the chat. Let us know, how long is reading part B? So how much time do you have to complete reading part B. I'll let this quiz run for about 10 seconds or so. Throw your comments in. How long is reading part B? Give it your best shot. It doesn't matter if you don't know. Just answer as honestly as you can. We look forward to seeing your answers. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for your answers, guys. Question number 2. How many exercises are there in OET Reading Part B? Let us know in the chat box. How many things do you have to answer? Shall we say, how many different activities are there for OET Reading Part B? Give us your best guess and your best answer. 3, 2, 1. Let's move on to question 3, which is how many texts will you have to read? Let us know in the chat, guys. How many texts do you have to read for reading part B? Believe it or not, you have to read in reading. You have to read texts. Believe it or not, unbelievable. But how many do you have to do? And give us your answers. Okay, great. They're all flying in. 3, 2, 1. Let's move on to question 4. So what type of task do you have to complete for reading part B? There is only one kind of task that you have to do for reading part B. So think about the kind of question that you have to answer. How would you categorize it? Let us know in the chat box. Okay, another 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Let's move on now to question 5, which is how many marks are there for reading part B? And this might be linked to how many texts you have to read, how many different questions you have to read, just giving you guys a little bit of a spoiler there, shall we say, or a bit of a hint. So if we can link the marks to the text and we can link the text to the number of questions, you might have a very similar answer there. Great, guys. Thank you very much for your contributions. Let's move on. Oh, that's it. 5 questions in total. Very good. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for all of your contributions and all of your comments. Fantastic. And let's now analyze the answers and see how well you have done. So give yourself 1 mark for each question that you got correct. Okay, guys. So first and foremost, how long is reading part B? So the way I've worked out this answer right now is because, as you know, reading part B and reading part C are combined into one whole paper. All right. So therefore, there actually isn't a set time for reading part B because you could spend longer on it or shorter on it. But you might impact your ability to do reading part C. So what I have worked out, what Swoosh has worked out as a rough guide for how long you should spend per answer is about 1 to 1.5 minutes per answer, 2 minutes maximum. Okay. So if we can get ourselves into the zone that we are able to answer each question in about 60 to 90 seconds, maximum 120 seconds, that brings you up to roughly about 12 to 15 minutes that you'll be spending on reading part B. And that will then give you enough time to contribute your time and attention to the more demanding reading part C section. So that's how I've worked that out. How many exercises are there? Well, there are 6 in total. You have 6 questions to answer. Therefore, there are 6 exercises. Most of you got that correct. And how many texts will you have to read? Well, there are 6 total. So there's 1 text per question. So keep that in mind, guys. There is 1 text per question. So therefore, there is 6 in total. So 1 for each question. Okay. So what type of task do you have to complete for reading part B? Well, every single reading part B task is a multiple choice question. And there are 3 answer options per multiple choice question. And the questions will be based around a short healthcare workplace text. So no more than 100 words in total. So they are pretty short, but they are very rapid fire multiple choice questions. You have to move through them quickly to be mindful of your time management. Then the final question is, how many marks are there? Well, I did say it is linked to the number of questions you have to answer, the number of texts that you have to read. 6, 6, and 6. So there are 6 marks in total for reading part B. So well done, guys. Let us know how you got on in the chat box. Did you get 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 1 out of 5. I think most of you were either getting 4 or 5 out of 5. So well done for testing your OET Reading Part B knowledge and doing really well with it. So let's now get into our Reading Part B method today. And we're going to start off by analyzing a sample task together. So here is an example of something you have to do in Reading Part B. We have the question at the top, the 3 answer options, and then the short text at the bottom. So you'll have to do 6 of these in Reading Part B. Answer a question or complete a sentence with 3 answer options and reading a short text to find your answer. Okay, so let's now move through a short step-by-step method for Reading Part B, which you can follow and then you can refine and add in a few other more advanced methods afterwards to improve. But right now I'm showing you how we can approach this via a step-by-step method. Okay, so let's start off first and foremost by analyzing the text. Okay, analyzing the text is really important for us to understand exactly what we're looking at, what we're reading about, and therefore practicing our speed reading skills, most importantly, gist. So we're looking at our skimming skills here, okay? When we're reading Part B, even though it's a very short text, we don't really want to be reading the whole text in detail because you won't be able to complete the answers unless you are a phenomenally fast reader. It is not necessary, and we don't need to because this is an expedited reading task, meaning you have to read and find the answer as quickly as possible. So remember, there are 100 and 150 words in these texts, in the Reading Part B texts. What we have to do is skim the text to get an idea of the gist very, very soon. So how can we do this? How can we skim read effectively from the get-go? Well, we should be looking for 2 things when we skim read, okay? We want to analyze the headings and we want to analyze the topic sentences. Now, the headings are fairly simple to understand. It is the short emboldened heading at the very top. In this case, it is analeptic drugs. So we now know what we're reading about. We're reading about analeptic drugs in this text. So it helps us understand what we're reading. Then we need to analyze the topic sentences, and they are the first sentence of each paragraph. In this case, it says, respiratory stimulants, analeptic drugs, have a limited place in the treatment of ventilatory failure in patients with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So this basically gives us an understanding about what the whole paragraph is about. And because we need to read for gist, well, the first sentence giving us the overall meaning of what the paragraph is about, it is therefore really important to read that topic sentence very quickly to understand what we're reading about and see if that helps us with answering the question. So a few seconds reading that, and we'll be in a better understanding about what the text is about, understand the gist, and therefore apply that to our answers. So once we've analyzed the topic sentences and we've analyzed the headings, we should now then move on to analyzing the answer options. Okay, so here is an example question step. So we have number 6. It says, what does this extract from a handbook tell us about analeptic drugs? So we're answering a question here. What does this extract from a handbook tell us about analeptic drugs? And then we have 3 answer options. Now keep in mind that all of these are potentially correct, as they will either be referenced positively or not referenced in the text, or referenced negatively as well. So they all are potentially correct, and therefore it's important for us to understand the keywords in the topic sentence, understand what our question is asking us to do, and then identifying the evidence in the text quickly that answers the question for us. We may also have to complete a question rather than complete a sentence, sorry, than answer a question for OET Reading Part B questions, guys. So please keep that in mind as well. Okay. So now that we've read the text, get a good understanding of the gist by looking at topic sentences and headings. We're now clear about what the question is asking us to do. We should then start analyzing our key words. Okay. So here is our question and our 3 answer options one more time. What do we have to do? Well, we should be looking at our keywords. And what do I mean by keywords? Well, keywords are ultimately content or meaningful words. So basically, if we took away all of the in meaningful words, we'll have the important words that we can put together in a fragmented sentences, but still understand what's being asked. So the kind of keywords we should be analyzing are, of course, the question stem words. For example, what, who, when, why, how. Any nouns in the sentence, any verbs in the sentence, any adjectives in the sentence, any modals in the sentence, any names in the sentence. Okay? So I'm going to just have everyone quickly skim over the three answer options and the question here and identify what you think are the key content words, the key content and meaningful words. So what question words do you see? What nouns do you see? What verbs do you see? What adjectives do you see? What modals do you see? And by modals, I mean modal verbs like should, could, would, maybe, etc. Any names that you see, quickly take a note of them, and we'll go into more analysis about this afterwards when we actually go through the question step. So a few more seconds, just quickly look through them, take a note of anything either on a piece of paper or a notepad or in your head, and then we'll analyze the key content words together. Okay? Another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, guys. So here are the important key content words. All right. So in the question, we have what is our question word. Extract is a noun. Handbook is a noun. Analeptic drugs is an adjective and a noun. So what, extract, handbook, analeptic drugs will be the key content words. Okay. So what does the extract from the handbook tell us about analeptic drugs? We're looking for an extract. We're looking something to do with a handbook, and we're looking about something referencing analeptic drugs to focus our reading. Now let's analyze our three answer options. A says they may be useful for patients who are not fully responsible. So we have may. I probably should underline may there as well, guys. So may is a suggestive word. Useful patients not fully responsive. So useful patients not fully responsive. Are analeptic drugs referenced in the handbook to be useful for patients who are not fully responsive? Do we find something that says yes or no to confirm that as either the right answer or an incorrect answer? B, we have injections of these drugs will limit the need for physiotherapy. So injections is a key content word here. It begins the sentence. Limit is, of course, a verb. Need for physiotherapy is a verb phrase and object noun at the end of the sentence. So injections limit the need for physiotherapy. So the analeptic drugs, injections limit the need for physiotherapy. Then finally, we have C, which is care should be taken if they are used over an extended period. Care is a key content word. It's obviously a verb. Should be taken is a passive phrase. Used, past tense verb. Extended period, adjective and noun. So care should be taken if they are used over an extended period. Care taken, used, extended period are four content words. Okay. So this is what we want to get into the habit of, is analyzing these keywords, underlining them, taking a note of them, and then referencing them when we're reading around the question. Okay, so hopefully you've taken a note of those. What extract handbook tell us about analeptic drugs? Here are the key phrases that we should be looking out for. So now that we've done the keyword analysis, we're now going to complete the task together, guys. So please, of course, if you can, get a little notepad here. I've got my little OET notepad here that I take lots of notes down when I'm doing exercises or managing Swoosh English or teaching my students. Please have a pen and paper beside you as well, as it might just help you and guide you towards the correct answers. Okay, guys? So there's going to be a 1 minute and 30 timer on this today. So that's going to be basically the speed that we want to get everyone to when completing the questions themselves. So I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds. So I'm going to bring up the screen full so everyone can see it nice and clearly. It means you can still hear me, you can't see me. I'll go to the next slide. I want everyone now to complete the task. Good luck, and we'll speak again in 1 minute and 25 seconds. Okay, guys, and that is the time up. So hopefully you found that exercise useful. You were able to look at the keywords, you were able to analyze the keywords, compare them to the question stem, practice your skimming and scanning skills, and then put your answer in. Do we think it was A, B, or C? So please let us know in the chat box. Oops, I maybe give away the answer. Please let us know in the chat box what you thought the answer was. Did you think it was A? Did you think it was B? And did you think it was C? Throw your comments in the chat box, and we'll see hopefully that most people got or analyzed the correct answer and even found what they thought was to be. We're getting a nice trend here in which most students found the correct answer. That's usually a very good sign. So put us into the chat box. What do we think was A, B, and C? And if you want to do something even more advanced, then let us know in the chat box as well why you thought your answer was correct and even why you thought that the other answers were incorrect. So let us know in the chat box. So lots of candidates are throwing in their answers. So the correct answer is what most people are saying, I'm very happy to say, is A. So well done. You're able to identify the correct answer by going through the method. So those that got A, big high five. Well done to you for getting it. So the answer A is correct. They may be useful for patients who are not fully responsive. And the text in orange here highlights why that is the correct answer. It says, however, occasionally when ventilatory support is contraindicated and in patients with hypercapnic respiratory failure who are becoming drowsy or comatose, respiratory stimulants in a short term may arouse patients sufficiently to cooperate and clear their secretions. Okay, so the key words we're looking at here are, of course, not fully responsive. Not fully responsive is synonymized here with respiratory failure, drowsy, or comatose. Okay, when you're in those states, you're not fully responsive. And therefore, respiratory stimulants in the short term, aka the analeptic drugs, may arouse patients successfully, aka they may be useful. So as you can see, the words here are referenced. They're just paraphrased and rephrased as a whole. If you're able to identify not fully responsive, the meaning behind that, and may be useful in reference to analeptic drugs, that is why you got A as the correct answer. So well done, everyone, for getting that correct. Let's do one more together, but this time I'm not going to walk you through it as much. I'm going to have you guys do your own analysis, keyword skimming, and extract analysis too. So first of all, guys, let's analyze the text. I want everyone now to analyze this text, okay? So take a few seconds to skim the text. While we're skimming, don't forget that skimming is a speed reading exercise that we're using to expedite the gist. We don't want to go into detail at this point. We want to get an understanding about what the text is about. And we do that by taking a note of the headings, the subheadings, and the topic sentences. So take a few seconds here, guys. Memorize the headings, memorize the subheadings, and memorize the topic sentences. Don't forget, this is actually a memo style question, so it is slightly different, almost like an email. So take a note of all of that key information in the headings, the subheadings, and the topic sentences, and just get an understanding about what this text will be about. And even ask your question as you do this, what is this text about, shall we say? Okay, now that we've done that, we're now going to move on to analyzing the question, as we said. So when we're analyzing the question, the one thing I want you to ask yourself is, what do you have to do? What is this question asking you to do? So analyze that first question only, understand those keywords, and get an understanding of what you have to look for and what you have to answer next. So that analysis is really important for that. Okay. Now that you've got a clear understanding in your head about what you have to do, we're going to move now on to the key word analysis. Okay, so the keyword analysis, we're going to highlight the key content words. All right, question words like what, for example, is really important. Analyze those nouns, analyze those verbs, analyze those adjectives, analyze those modal words. Okay, get around about 30 seconds-ish to do that. So take a note of them, write them down, or take a note of them in your question. What nouns do you see? What verbs do you see? What adjectives do you see? What modals do you see? Words like may, could, might, should, would, those modal verbs are also key to understand because they will be linked into the question that you're reading, as well as paraphrase modal terms will be usually used in the text as well. So please keep that in mind as a whole too. Okay, a few more seconds, guys, before we actually move on to the analysis. But hopefully you found this exercise useful for the steps that we should take for reading part B. Awesome. Now let's complete the task, guys. I'm going to bring the task full screen once again. Got another 1 minute and 30 seconds to complete the task. Good luck, and I hope that you ace it. So enjoy the task, and I'll see you in a moment. Three, two, and one. Time is up, guys. So let us know in the chat box what you thought the answer was. Type in A, B, or C in the chat box. And once again, I hope that everyone gets this correct and that we're seeing a pattern emerge as well. I'll just give a few more seconds to everyone to type in and show their answers. And yeah, we'll take it forward from there. Okay, we've got a few different comments coming in, with a few different questions and a few different statements. Let's see if we're seeing a pattern emerge here. I'm seeing a few patterns here, which is good. I'm also getting a few comments coming in from candidates saying that if the screen is not clear, everything is clear in terms of what I'm broadcasting today, guys. I'm actually watching on the YouTube channel. Everything is really clear to me. So my recommendations to you, if you can't see, would be to make sure you're on a large screen watching this, and also to make sure that you're outputting in full definition. So 720p or 1080p, make sure that you are adjusting that, because everything is working on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook and YouTube channels as well. I'm watching as a student. Everything is clear to me. So make sure everything has been adjusted your end, and you will be able to see everything as clearly as possible. Okay, well, anyway, the answers are flying in. Let's see if you were correct. So most candidates, I'm happy to say, have answered B. So the majority of you have got the correct answer. Well done to you. So let's now analyze everyone who got it correct or didn't get it correct, but why B was the correct answer. Okay. So it says, the question asks, what does this update tell medical professionals about bovine insulin? So the update is a key word. Tell medical professionals about bovine insulin. Okay, so B was the correct answer. And the statements did say, users may experience difficulties when switching to alternatives. Users may experience difficulties when switching to alternatives. And I'll just bring this full screen so we can analyze it together. Okay. So down here in the orange section, the orange underlined section, it says porcine, human or analog insulin are likely to lower the glucose more than the same dose of bovine insulin. An insulin dose titration may be difficult and unpredictable. Okay? So if we go before that, it says use of bovine insulin has been associated with the presence of insulin autoantibodies, which may impair the action of insulin. Okay, so insulin has been presented here as an alternative, and porcine being the alternative here are likely to lower the glucose more than the same dose of bovine insulin and may be difficult and unpredictable. So the word difficult has been used here. We also have unpredictable be used here as well. So the update in the memo has said here that there may be a difference when switching to alternatives. And that is why that is the correct answer. Answer option A, it is being withdrawn due to the risk associated with its long-term use. I don't think there's anything in this text here which talks about it being withdrawn for a long-term use. So therefore, that was not an answer at all. And any side effects are more difficult to identify in older patients. Now, it does reference in paragraph 2, people using bovine insulations are likely to be older patients with long-standing diabetes. So older is referenced, but there's nothing there referencing side effects. Okay, so this section here, for those that answered C, yes, older people are referenced, but there's nothing here talking about side effects, which is one of the answer options here. So therefore, long-standing diabetes is not a side effect. Also, insulin deficiency is not a side effect. Hypoglycemia is not a side effect. They are, of course, statements of diabetes. That is why that was not the right answer, and B is the correct answer. So well done to those that got B as the correct answer, and well done to those that managed to practice the method effectively today. So let's now review what we've covered in this session today to give you some more advice and tips going forward with reading part B. First piece of advice I have is to make sure you learn the format of the exam section. That's why we did a quiz today, so you know exactly what's coming up in reading part B. Make sure, of course, that you start by skimming the text very quickly, 10, 20 seconds maximum, as quickly as you can, to get an idea of the gist. The gist is the overall meaning. Look at those topic sentences and look at those headings as well. Remember that the answer could be related to gist, detail, or a main point as a whole. So even though we're reading for gist, it is important to read details in the text or read main points in those topic sentences as well. Next, you move on to highlighting your question answer option and keywords to improve your accuracy. Those key content words such as your question words, your nouns, your verbs, and your dates. Understand them, highlight them, because they could be referenced. Any part of that question could be referenced in the text. And it could be the difference between you getting a correct answer and an incorrect answer. Then go through the 3 options to both identify potential correct answers and, if time is permitting, eliminate incorrect answers. Now, eliminating incorrect answers isn't as important for reading part B as it is for reading part C. If you can, in your reading, identify an incorrect answer, well, that gives you a higher chance of getting a correct answer. But what is more important is identifying the correct answer from the get-go. And then, of course, just based on your reading, assess the best answer option based on your analysis and answer it. There's no negative marks for reading part B, so make sure you're always answering a question. There's no point in leaving it blank. Remember also that practice makes perfect. The more that we're practicing our reading skills in OET, as well as our reading comprehension outside of OET, the better readers that we will become. And of course, it's really important that you believe in yourself and your abilities to pass the exam as well. I want everyone today to be confident in what they can do, because everyone in this class today has the capabilities of passing the OET exam, and you will if you believe you can do it and put the appropriate steps into place to getting towards your goal, and that is having your reading, your listening, your speaking, and your writing skills high enough to pass this exam. Trust me, you can. I've been doing this for years, and I've managed to get a lot of passes in my time as well. And a lot of it stems from the confidence mindset that you have. So thank you, guys. Before we finish, there's a Q&A coming up in a minute. By the way, I want to take some of your questions at the very end of the class for about 5 minutes. Before we get stuck into that, I want to ask you all a question. And the question I have for everyone is, how are you currently studying for OET? Let me know in the chat box. What are you currently doing to study for your OET exam? Maybe you're with Swoosh English already. Hooray! Congratulations for joining us. Maybe you're with another preparation provider, which is also a great choice. Maybe you aren't preparing at all at this point, or maybe you are doing other things for your preparation. So let me know in the chat box, guys, what you are currently doing to prepare for your OET exam. Throw your comments in, throw your statements in, be as detailed as you can, and let us know what you are currently doing. And just, yeah, everyone, thank you very much for joining today. We're not finished yet, by the way, so please stick around for another 10, 15 minutes to finalize this session today. Okay, so we got Maria. Hello, Maria. I'm going to bring up your comment. You said, I am preparing with Swoosh, and it's great. Thank you very much, Maria, for saying that. I really appreciate that you've joined us, and I'm very happy that you're enjoying your preparation course as well. And we have Sergey has also said, I strongly recommend these guys. So thank you, Sergey, for recommending Swoosh. I know that you're a student of ours and have been for some time. And Sergey also managed to pass the exam from the first attempt with us as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys, for giving me your comments. And I am reading them, and it is much appreciated. Okay. So the reason why I asked this question is that everyone, I'm sure, in this room wants to pass the OET as quickly as possible and spend the least amount of money on the OET exam as possible. And what we really want to avoid candidates doing at Swoosh English is taking the exam unnecessarily again and again and again. Okay. And there's only one reason why candidates don't pass the OET exam on the first attempt, and that is ineffective, inefficient preparation. Okay. So I want to know, are you ready to pass your OET in as little as 1 month? Save thousands of dollars potentially on OET exam fees, get that pass first time, and also then live your dream life. If you're thinking yes to that, well, there hasn't been a better time for us to join Swoosh English. You've basically got a sample today of how we conduct our lessons at Swoosh English. We're fun, we're vibrant, we're highly interactive, but we're also very professional and know what we are doing. We're doing this for now over 10 years. So live classes are a benchmark to our program, but we also offer very, very flexible learning methods across many different ways of learning as part of our core courses. So if you're looking for more live classes like this, you're looking to get expert writing feedback, speaking feedback, and other mock exam analysis, then there's not been a better time for you to join us. We're currently offering 20% off selected OET courses as part of our Swoosh into September sale. Yes, we came up with the title Swoosh into September. Yes, I think it's very good. You can let me know otherwise, but we're currently offering 20% off our preparation courses, guys, until the end of the weekend. We're running it until then. So if you are interested in joining us, all you have to do is click on the link in the chat. There is a link in the chat that's coming in. Click on that link and it will take you to our course pages with the discount options and with our various package for different price points, different recommendations, and different disciplines. We do currently offer preparation courses, fully bespoke preparation courses for nurses, for doctors, and for pharmacists as well. So if you are a nurse, a doctor, or a pharmacist, we offer fully bespoke preparation for your discipline. The other way of getting access to that is getting your phone out and accessing your QR code reading app. Scan the QR code here, and that will then give you access to the page as well to take things forward. Okay, so all I ask for you today is just come on over and check us out and see if anything is of option to you, as we truly want to guarantee you the best chance of passing. And if you've enjoyed today's class, then I think you'll enjoy the way that we teach here at Swoosh English. Now, if you can't click on the link for whatever reason, or you can't scan the QR code for whatever reason, some things happen, well, then give us our team an email at the following address. That is inquiries@swooshenglish.com. One more time, inquiries@swooshenglish.com. And we will be very, very, very happy to answer your questions and answer your queries about anything that you have in relation to us at Swoosh English. Our customer success team will be in contact with you and answer your questions. But please go to the link in the chat first and foremost, or go to the QR code first and foremost, as that is the quickest way for you to get access to your Swoosh English preparation course straight away today. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming along today. Thank you very much for taking part in the activities today. Well done to everyone who got the correct answers, or has at least learnt the way to get the correct answer now as well. I hope that you did find this useful. Okay. As I said, I'm here now for a little bit longer. I'm going to leave this on the screen for you to get access to 20% off your selected OET courses. Here for another few minutes to answer any questions that you might have about today's lesson, about OET, about Swoosh English, about anything you want to ask. Please ask me. And if you've enjoyed the session today, well, make sure, of course, that if you're watching on YouTube, that you subscribe either to the Swoosh English YouTube channel, if you're watching there, or the OET official YouTube channel, if you're watching there, as Swoosh English and OET work very closely together to get the right content to you to help in your preparation. And if you're also watching on Facebook, well, then give us a like, give us a love, give us a comment. Let us know what you enjoyed about this session the most. Before I have any more questions coming in, we got one more student, Sherilyn, who said currently enrolled here. Coaches are excellent. Thank you, Sherilyn. That is really important to us, that, of course, that you enjoy your teachers, that you enjoy the way that we teach, that you enjoy the feedback and the answers that we give as well. So thank you very much for your comments, Sherilyn. Okay, let's take a couple of quick questions before we finish. And let me see what questions that we have. Let me just scroll up and see if I can find a couple of questions. We've got Woman's World, that's a great name, has said, can we get listening materials? Yes, you absolutely can, Woman's World. Click on that link, come across to our page, check out our courses. We have lots. Every one of our courses is designed to be fully OET preparational. Listening, reading, speaking, and writing are all covered in detail. Come across, Sherilyn, check us out, see which package is useful to you in terms of listening materials, and we would certainly be very happy to help you out with those questions. Okay. And we got another question here, which is about, should I take I'm confused about what to take. Should I choose OET or should I choose IELTS? That's a very good question, Ba Hoon Lin. Are you taking, I'll bring it up on screen, are you currently preparing for an exam at this point? Have you begun preparing for IELTS? Have you begun preparing for OET at this point? Because if you've begun preparing for a certain exam and you've learned that exam format, I would recommend that you stick to that exam rather than change all of a sudden. But what is most important, that regardless if you're taking IELTS or OET at this point, that you prepare effectively for this exam. By preparing effectively, I mean starting as early as possible, coming to a preparation provider that you trust, has got great results, and you like the teaching style of, preparing for weeks and not months before your exam, only booking your exam when you are ready, and engaging in the learning process as highly as possible. That is how we all pass our first exam, okay? That's how we all quickly pass our exam, is by engaging in that. But Baruma, let us know your answer to that question, okay? All right, so what other questions do we have here? We've got, I'm going to bring up a comment here from Harusha. Harusha has said, it's hard to deal with English. Harusha, I completely understand what you're saying here with this. The fact that you just crafted a very nice sentence in this chat box tells me, and you're coming to this class today and listening to what I'm saying, I've got a nice fast Irish accent, by the way, tells me that your English is probably at a higher level than you think it So, Harusha, I want you to turn the way you're thinking about English preparation at this point around and say to yourself, I am a fluent English speaker. I know I am, and I know that I trust in my abilities, and I trust in my judgment, and I trust in my choices and decisions that will get me my OET exam. That's Harusha. That's what I say to you here is believe in yourself, but most importantly, take the next steps to get your English pass. Confidence is super important in this process. If we're not confident from the beginning that we can overcome these challenges, we're just making it much more difficult for ourselves. So please be confident in yourself, Harusha. We'd be happy to take that further for you if you are looking for more support and more guidance with your English. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming along today. And thank you for bringing me your questions as well. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in the session today. Hope that you enjoyed our Reading Part B session. I hope that you obviously got the correct answers. But if you didn't, you're now clear about what you have to do next to ensure that your Reading Part B skills are on points. And just a reminder, of course, that we're happy to have you join us here at Swoosh English and get hundreds of more passers from everyone watching today. And as we've got a very good track record of getting great passers for their OET exam as an OET All-Star and an OET Premium Preparation Provider. So make sure, of course, that you check us out. The link is coming into the chat box one more time. I'll just bring this final message up on the screen. Click the link on the chat, scan the QR code to get access to our 20% off selected OET courses preparation sale, which is valid until Sunday. And come and join us if you're thinking about taking your OET prep to the next level. So once again, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to anyone who's taking the exam tomorrow. I hope that you smash it. I hope that you ace it. For everyone else that has a bit more time with their preparation, well, come and check us out. And we'll be happy to engage in more discussions with you. So have a great rest of your Friday, everyone. See you all very, very soon. Take care and goodbye.